I heard an old preacher down in Louisiana where I'm from, a very imaginative old preacher, said this is not in the Bible. He said, but I believe it happened. He said, when Jesus got up from the grave, he said, you're not going to find this in the scripture. I just imagine that this is what happened. When Jesus got up from the grave, he told somebody to go downtown and find that man who put a crown of thorns on my brow, and tell him if he trusts my word, I'll give him a crown of life. Go downtown and tell that man who put a robe on me to mock me that if he trusts my word, I'll put on him a robe of righteousness. And somebody ought to help me testify this morning. I once was lost in sin, but Jesus took me in. There's nothing in my life that says I ought to be where I am. But by the grace of God, I can tell graceful people in here this morning, I can tell folk in here this morning that God has blessed your life with some stuff you were not even looking for, because you can't hardly hold your seat. You can't hardly be still, because when you think about God's goodness and your wretchedness, God's mercy and your foolishness, God's forgiveness and your craziness, you can't hardly hold yourself. And I can tell y'all who think you're pretty good already, you're looking down your nose at somebody who you think ought not be teaching Sunday school. You're looking down your nose at somebody you think ought not be singing in the choir. Where you listening to somebody who ain't got no business preaching, because he's looked beyond my faults, he's looked beyond my sinful ways, he's looked beyond my ugly acting disposition, and he put his word in my mouth, and I have a treasure in an earthen vessel, that the excellency of the power is of God and not Terry Anderson.